It was the kind of match that turns skeptics into believers, doubters into dreamers, and new signings into fan favourites. Manchester United vs Everton at Old Trafford wasn't just a Premier League fixture. It was the birth of a new chapter, and this time, all eyes were on one man, Bryan Mbeumo, the 25-year-old Cameroonian forward who dazzled for Brentford, had finally put on the iconic red shirt for the very first time. The buzz around him was electric, the crowd was buzzing like a storm ready to erupt, and the moment was more than just a debut, it was a statement. Was this the signing that would revive United's season? Could Mbeumo bring the firepower they've so desperately lacked since the departure of some of their attacking legends? Well, the theatre of dreams was ready, and so was Mbeumo. The matchday atmosphere was unmatched. You could almost taste the history in the air. Flags waved, chants roared, and as the teams walked out of the tunnel, it was clear. This was going to be one of those days that fans would talk about for years. Everton, a team battling inconsistency but still capable of magic on their day, was no easy opponent. But United needed a win. Not just for the points table, but for pride, for morale, and to introduce their new forward with the celebration he deserved. As the whistle blew, you could see Mbeumo wasn't here to just warm up. His first touch was clean, his body language calm but confident, and when he made his first run past Mykolenko down the right, the crowd gasped. That burst of pace, the shift of weight, the balance, it was all there. This wasn't just any player wearing number 19. This was a new weapon in Erik ten Hag's arsenal. The opening 15 minutes were intense. Everton looked sharp in transition, with Dwight McNeil and Calvert-Lewin trying to test the United backline. But Lisandro Martinez was in no mood to be toyed with. Alongside Varane, they held the line well, but the real test came in the 21st minute when Onana lofted a long ball behind United's defence. Calvert-Lewin was through, he took a touch, fired low to the left, but Andre Onana, United's goalkeeper, made a stunning one-handed save. That was a warning shot. United responded quickly. Bruno Fernandes started dropping deeper, dictating play, and with Mbeumo now switching flanks and finding pockets of space, the rhythm changed. In the 32nd minute, the breakthrough came. A clever 1-2 between Fernandes and Mainoo opened space on the right. Fernandes sent in a whipped cross, and Mbeumo, ghosting in between the Everton centre-backs, met it with a clean volley into the bottom corner. 1-0 Manchester United. The roar that followed. Absolute chaos. Mbeumo sprinted towards the corner flag, arms spread wide, pointing at the badge on his chest. That wasn't just a goal, that was a love letter to the fans. His first touch in the box, his first real moment, and it was already in the net. What followed was emotional. The camera panned to the stands and you could see a father and his son jumping in celebration, perhaps remembering the last time they saw a debut goal at Old Trafford. The fans, often critical, were now standing and clapping. That's what football does, it turns strangers into family, united by a shared heartbeat. Half-time came with United leading 1-0. But the second half had its own drama waiting. Everton came out swinging. James Garner, a former United Academy graduate, was pulling strings in midfield, and in the 54th minute, his corner found Tarkowski, who headed in past Onana to make it 1-1. Silence briefly fell over Old Trafford. The game was back on level terms, and the pressure was back. But something was different. Mbeumo didn't shrink. Instead, he rose. He dropped deeper, demanded the ball, ran at defenders like a man possessed. In the 65th minute, he picked up a loose ball in midfield, skipped past two players and laid it off to Garnacho. The youngster cut inside, curled a beauty, but Pickford made an acrobatic save. Ten Hag made tactical adjustments. Casemiro came in for Mainoo to solidify the midfield, and Rashford replaced Antony to add pace. United now pushed forward with urgency. And then, in the 77th minute, the moment of magic returned. Fernandes again released Mbeumo, who this time cut inside from the left, danced past Tarkowski, and laid the ball off to Rashford. Rashford slotted it home with ease. 2-1 to United, and again, Mbeumo was at the heart of it. 2 goal involvements on debut. That's what dream scripts are made of. The crowd began chanting Mbeumo's name. Mbeumo. Mbeumo. It echoed through the stadium like an anthem. For a player who came from modest beginnings in France, grew through the Brentford system, and made his mark in England with sweat and grind, this was emotional. This wasn't just another match, it was validation. Everton, to their credit, didn't give up. They kept pushing, and in stoppage time, nearly equalised when Doucouré's thunderous shot rattled the crossbar. But fate was with United today. The final whistle blew. Manchester United 2 Everton 1. And in the centre of the pitch, surrounded by teammates and cameras, stood Bryan Mbeumo, the man of the match, the man of the moment, the man who may have just become the new darling of Old Trafford. This match wasn't just about the scoreline. It was about identity. Manchester United have often been accused of lacking purpose post Sir Alex. But today, there was purpose, there was flair, there was passion, and there was Mbeumo. In 90 minutes, he showed pace, intelligence, humility, and hunger. You could see how he instantly clicked with Fernandes, how he respected Ten Hag's tactical setup, and how deeply he connected with the fans. Stats-wise, he had a near-perfect debut. 1 goal, 1 assist, 5 successful dribbles, 3 key passes, and 87% passing accuracy. But no stat could explain the emotional connection he built today. Football is emotional. And today, Mbeumo made grown men cry with joy. And it wasn't just Mbeumo. Fernandes had another captain's performance. Garnacho continues to evolve into a menace for defenders. Rashford looked energized again. And Casemiro brought balance when it was needed most. But all those performances danced around one big truth: this was Mbeumo's stage. And he owned it. Off the pitch, social media exploded. Mbeumo masterclass, United's next star, Brentford who? Fans joked, memes circulated, and the hype had begun. But the grounded fans knew, this is just one match. The Premier League is brutal. But it's also honest. And if you give your soul like Mbeumo did today, it gives back. So where does United go from here? Well, the signs are promising. With Mbeumo's addition, they've got a new dynamic in attack. Someone who can score, create, press, and stretch defenses. Someone who doesn't shy away from responsibility. If managed well, and given the support, this could be the beginning of something special. Not just for Mbeumo, but for the whole club. The rebuilding process has had its ups and downs, but maybe now, it has a heart. To the fans, this game gave more than just 3 points. It gave hope. It gave new memories. And most of all, it gave them a reason to believe that the red shirt still carries magic. So here's to Bryan Mbeumo, the boy from Avallon, France, who wore red for the first time and turned Old Trafford into his playground. Football is all about moments, and today, he gave us one to cherish forever. If you're a football romantic, a Red Devil loyalist, or even just someone who loves stories of grit and glory, this match was everything you could have hoped for. And something tells me, this is just the beginning of a thrilling new chapter. Let's keep dreaming, because as long as we've got players who play with heart, this club will always find its way back to glory. Mbeumo is here, and Manchester United may have just found the next legend in the making.